Welcome to the new episode of True of My Chest. Story is posted by Big Divorce 9546. In 12 hours I will get the answer, divorce or open marriage. I gave him an ultimatum, either an open marriage or divorce. I caught my husband of 12 years cheating on me. I do know the girl, because she is a part-time cashier at the local grocery store. He has been spending a lot of money on her. I got the proof, and confronted his He did what most cheaters do. Deny and gaslight. When he couldn't make up more lies he finally caved and started with his big man tears of "Don't leave me baby, I swear I will change." I gave him options. Either we open our marriage, and keep our home, and keep our children and they will grow up in a house, and not shift every weekend. You can keep your side chicks, as long as you do not bring them into our home. We will have set of rules and boundaries. I laid out all the boundaries and conditions. 1. He cannot spend money from our joint account. He can spend money from his personal expenses, however, in case of emergency, he will put his family above his side chicks. 2. Never bring them home, or into our space, where we have our kids. 3. No family members or friends. 4. Always use protection and regular STD checkups. 5. We will tell each other about the dates, and when are we going, who are we with. We do not have to share pictures of our partners. 6. If he gets a woman pregnant, it's the end. And if I get pregnant by another man, I will either get an abortion, or put the kid to adoption, or if the father agrees he can keep the baby, and I will sign away my rights. And yes, he is more than welcome to divorce me, and I will not push him for child support for another man's child. Or, we will get a divorce. We will split everything evenly. The house is in my name, so I will keep the house. We will only contact through parenting app. No bad mouthing to our kids. If our kids want to know the truth later in life, we will tell them. We will have a healthy co-parenting relationship. He can have as many girlfriends as he wants, but he shouldn't force our children to accept them. It's for our kids to decide. I gave him 48 hours. 12 hours is left. We will see what he decides. If he cannot, then I will make the decision for both of us. My decision is divorce. Second story is posted by Calorie Counting Mum. My husband made the decision to move to my hometown and now I'm resenting him. So I married my husband 5 years ago and moved to his hometown. We now have a daughter, under 1. A few months ago he made the decision to move to my hometown. His reason was childcare from my family. Whilst we are at work, as his family didn't really make an effort to help. I didn't want to move. I was happy to leave our daughter at a nursery. So within 3 months we packed up our lives and moved to my hometown. He left his job and we moved in with my family. This was meant to be temporary whilst we find a new place. However, my husband doesn't seem to want to find a job. We seem to be living 2 separate lives, and I have had enough of the stress of finance. I'm due back at work in a couple of months, and feel like my husband is waiting to rely on me. He doesn't seem to be looking hard enough for a new job. He spent most of his night out with my brother whilst I'm home with our daughter. He is being overly fussy about the job he gets. We can't afford to be fussy. We also seem to have ended up in 2 different rooms and my daughter is always with me. He seems to think he doesn't need to help me anymore with our daughter. I think he expects my family to take over. My family are now having a go at me to push him to get a job, but I can't be bothered dealing with his excuses anymore. It feels like, since we've moved in with my family, he has taking advantage of me and my family. I've tried speaking to him, and now I just can't stand him. I don't want to be around him. I feel like I made a mistake by moving. I miss my best friend I left behind and my independence. Third story is posted by Professional Comb 210. My wife's obsession is driving me crazy. My wife is obsessed with JFK. Yes, John F. Kennedy, 35th President of the United States. He's her first crush. She's in her 30s. She is obsessed with the entire Kennedy family. I probably know more information about the Kennedy family than I do about my own family, just from hearing her talk about them all the time, and overhearing her watch and rewatch every Kennedy related documentary and movie that's ever been produced. Seriously, she's seen every single one, and is always moping about how she's seen every Kennedy related thing ever made, and she wishes there was something she hasn't seen yet. If I accidentally mention that I haven't seen a particular Kennedy film or documentary, she's like, great. We are turning it on now. Then she gives her own commentary over top of the whole thing. The top man in her life is JFK. She has a framed picture of him on her vanity in our bedroom, so he watches us all the time. He's her phone background too. No pictures of me anywhere. She even talks to the picture sometimes. We have a framed picture of the Kennedy family on our mantle. Yes, the mantle in our living room that everyone sees. But it was a gift from her sister, so it must be displayed. Last year for Christmas she asked for these Kennedy related Christmas ornaments. I did buy her the one she really wanted. Towards the end of Christmas I could tell she was getting a bit sad that I apparently hadn't listened to her heavy hints and bought her this ornament. Her Christmas was thankfully saved when I produced the ornament at the end of the night. Over half of her presents from everyone were Kennedy related. She openly tells me, in detail, about her sexual fantasies involving JFK. He's the main person she fantasizes and about. If she doesn't seem very into having sex with me, her actual husband, all I have to do is put on my JFK voice on. I have perfected it, and she'll usually cave. I did have to put my foot down when she started talking about doing me with a back brace on. Too bizarre. I'm just not into role playing like that. Why would I marry her when her heart clearly belongs to a man who has been dead for 60 years? This didn't all come out in full color right away. When she did start mentioning her crush on him, it wasn't concerning. Whatever, he was a stylish guy, had great hair. It wasn't the craziest thing I'd ever heard. She told me tonight that her list of favorite men is JFK, JFK Jr., a very close second to his father in her books, and she's taken up a bunch of hobbies inspired by him, thankfully not flying planes yet, and Bobby Kennedy, Sr. Thankfully she does not care for Jr. at all. Then me. I'm fourth behind 3 dead men. Her vibrators are all named after those guys. Her dog is named Jackie O. Now she's planning out a Kennedy tribute baby name. Her engagement ring just had to be from the same jeweler as Jackie Kennedy's ring. Done. I did that for her, and I still can't rise above Bobby Kennedy to be 3 at the very least. If she buys me one more thing that is something that JFK wore, I don't know what I'll do. Well, I'll probably wear it or use it because it makes her happy. My wife is relatively normal in most other ways. She's attractive, has a good career, although I know she slipped about her Kennedy obsession at work in a few moments of weakness, and I'm scared to know just how detailed she got. She's told me she's masturbated secretly at work a few times, and will just sit and stare at pictures of these men. Sure, she loves every salacious sexual detail that comes out about JFK and has to tell me about it, which seems to be the only thing that ever gets her excited. And the more dirty details she finds out, the more affairs she finds out about, the more she wants to do him. But if I just look in the direction of another woman, all hell rains down. It's fine. I'm fine. I don't know why I'm sharing this with the internet right now. It's so ridiculous. She's in the shower fantasizing about him right now. She told me that's what she was going to do. She says, I should just be glad all my competition is dead. Fourth story is posted by @scabby59336. My buddy faked his entire college education and graduation. Must read. Okay. This happened several years ago. I went to a big West Coast school and graduated. My sophomore year a kid moves into the frat house as a freshman. We'll call him Walter. Basically, after his first semester in college, he flunked out with straight F's. He couldn't bear to tell his parents, so what he did was he borrowed some friends' report cards and cut and pasted A's and B's on the report card template with his name on it, covering up the F's. He then copied that and sent it to his parents. For tuition, his parents would send checks made out to him to pay it with. Walter continued cutting and pasting for 4 years with different classes copied from different friends' report cards. At the end of 4 years, when he was supposed to graduate, he borrowed a cap and gown and told his parents that he just wanted to do the big ceremony in the stadium, not at the business school where he supposedly graduated from, and they hand out your diploma and call your name, etc. He just sat with his buddies in the stadium while his proud family watched. He posed 4 pictures with his folks and his grandparents. Walter then moved back home and went on living his life as a college graduate. Walter is now a successful guy with kids, family, mortgage, etc. And nobody has ever ratted him out. 100% true story. Had to get that off my chest. Fifth story is posted by Burn account. The kittens I adopted were given to another family. My husband and I really wanted to adopt a cat. We visited a cat cafe or cat rescue a few weeks ago and fell in love with a little grey kitten. She was bonded to her sister, so we applied for them both. They didn't even have names yet, since they were brand new to the facility. The rescue said that we're first on the list and guaranteed the adoption. They told us it would take 5 weeks. Yesterday, I wanted to reach out to the rescue and see what else was needed, and I saw that the kittens were adopted on the site. I thought perhaps it was for us. Perhaps they changed it for us so nobody applies for them. But when I got them on the phone, the rescue said they accidentally overlooked our application and had sent the cats to another home. They apologized and told us to adopt a different set of cats. I told them I'd never support their organization again and hung up. I visited these two kittens every week and made the appropriate plans to adopt them. I genuinely fell in love. I renamed them and told my family about them. And the rescue completely dropped the ball. My heart is so broken. I'm so happy these little babies have a home. But it's not with me. I really love them. Thank you.